A woman posing as a psychic was arrested last week after police say she scammed customers out of about $100,000. Her name is Perlita Afanasio Ballester. She's 29. She's said to have promised customers she would double any money left with her. Double it. Instead, police say she took the money and ran. She was arrested in Orange County on charges of grand theft and false personation.
Gina Marks, a twice-convicted swindler and author of the book Miami Psychic, was minutes from boarding a flight to Barcelona Thursday when two Miami-Dade cops introduced themselves and took her aside.
And they informed her that she had a warrant for her arrest. At that moment, she just looked like it was like the end of the world.
Marks was a fugitive from justice, wanted in Maryland on a grand theft warrant alleging she ripped off $82,000 from a woman who believes she did have psychic powers.
A convicted fraudster and self-declared psychic who pleaded guilty to stealing $340,000 from people through scams has been sentenced to 6 years in prison. Gina Marie Marks worked under the psychic name of Natalie Miller. In addition to the prison sentence, she must pay $300,000 restitution.
A Boulder psychic faces charges accused of swindling a family that founded the Lacoste clothing company, known for its polo shirts with the alligator on them. Police say 32-year-old Becky Ann Lee convinced CU student Victoria Lacoste to give her more than $200,000 over the course of the year. Lee said she'd use that money to help buy gold coins to help with Lacoste chakra balancing. Instead, police say she pawned them off. A big loss for the Broncos.
Sorry.
A loss for words right now.
I think we all. $200,000 for that. Woo!
A psychic accused of peddling not only lies, but genuine fear. Somerset police say 37-year-old Tracy Milanovich stole more than 70 grand from a woman convinced her 10-year-old daughter was possessed. The psychic saying that there was something inside of her that was bad, that she was dead in God's eyes, and that she needed to purchase her as well as her daughter's soul back. So the victim made multiple payments of thousands and tens of thousands of dollars, asking friends, family members, and even co-signing on a loan to get the cash. But in return, all she got, police say, were rituals that never seemed to work. Quote, she was going to take the demon from her daughter and place it in the Barbie doll, the police report said. The demon was not to be trusted, and she did not want to tell her what would happen if she did not pay. The victim never told anyone what the money was for, just that it was for family and a matter of life and death. That's because police say the psychic told her to keep her mouth shut. Quote, that if she told others, the demon would know what she was doing, and her daughter's cleanse would not work. But when the victim finally confessed to her husband after nearly a month, he took her to police. And now Milanovich is facing 8 separate charges that she apparently didn't see coming.
This is 27-year-old Sophie Mills, owner of Psychic and Tarot Card Readings by Sophia on Broadhead Road in Center Township. She claims to be a third-generation, God-gifted psychic.
I felt very comfortable when I went into a tarot card reading because I am a Catholic woman, and I saw crosses, I saw statues of Mary and prayers that I recognized. So she came across as a very holy woman.
But this woman, who doesn't want to be identified, now claims Mills is a thief. She says Mills promised to help, telling her all evil could be erased with a Mojo jar. The woman claims Mills told her to put $3,000 and an egg wrapped in a dirty T-shirt in the jar.
Whatever evil force is inside you is going to be abstracted from you and put into this egg.
But when Mills cracked the egg, she said she was concerned for the woman's safety and told her to run.
And I said, okay, well, Sophia, this is like $3,000. I said, am I supposed to just leave my jar here? She's like, it's my full intention to return all your money to you.
But after several attempts to get the money back didn't pan out, the woman realized she'd been duped and called police, who arrested Mills. When I called Mills today, she told me she was busy and would get back to me next week.
Private investigator Bob Nygaard, a man on a mission to stop what he considers the most malevolent moochers around. Psychics who prey on troubled people who just really need some comfort and counsel.
People are going through a very difficult time in their life, and they're very vulnerable.
People like Deborah Sawfield, who forked over $27,000 to New York City psychic Sylvia Mitchell, now serving a prison sentence for grand larceny.
The amount of money that we're talking about is astronomical.
How astronomical? In one case, try $900,000. That's the total sum swindled from Mary James's retirement savings after her son Brian fell under the spell of California psychic April Lee.
I'm mad at the psychic for how she manipulated my son.
I want nothing more than my mom to be paid back.
And that's where Nygaard comes in. Working with law enforcement, he tracks down his elusive target. She's driving in style in a brand new Mercedes and now wants an additional $511,000 to help remove a curse on Brian. A meet is arranged. Brian heads to an office where the supposed money transfer will happen. Then, in the parking lot, cops move in to arrest the psychic and her boyfriend.
April looked shocked. They had no idea they were going to be arrested.
And tonight we can report that April Lee has accepted a plea deal, pleading no contest to felony grand larceny. And she's promising to pay back Brian and his mom.
What you're seeing here is an undercover sting operation.
Hello. How much is the
To gather evidence against Times Square psychic Christine Evans on behalf of a 23-year-old Chinese woman who was defrauded of $1,300, Nygaard went undercover as a heartbroken divorcee with a hidden camera to document Evans in the middle of her act.
Your soul is very damaged. You're still not healed over the situation.
Evans spots a vulnerable person and she goes in.
There is a negative force that is circling your body, your soul, and your mind, and your spirit that is interfering with your destiny and your path. John, you need spiritual cleansing. Do you want me to help you to bring her back to you?
You do that?
100%. I can bring her back. That's not the problem, John.
Right.
If you have faith and do what I tell you to do.
What do we do?
Okay. I got to do certain work, John. I got to go into prayer. I got to go into meditation. I need her name. Okay? The sooner I start this work, John, the sooner you start to see results. You will be free of this negative force. From wherever this...
And the cleansing isn't going to be cheap.
John, this cleansing is $500. In order for me to bring Sue back in your life, you have to do what I tell you to do.
Nygaard says this type of manipulation is textbook.
Isolate the victim from friends and family, create a siege mentality, create a sense of dependency, exacerbate the victim's existing fears, okay? Create a pseudo world, their own world, keep the victim in the dark about what's going on. These are the same kind of psychological principles that a cult leader uses to keep his members of the cult in line. And the psychic just does the same psychological principles, but on a one-on-one basis.
This is a routine Evans has done countless times. Serial con artist Evans was previously arrested in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Arizona, and Florida for a range of crimes, including extortion, larceny, theft by deception, identity theft, and forgery. The video evidence was enough to have Evans arrested, but the Manhattan DA only charged her with petty larceny, even though the $1,300 was well over the threshold for grand larceny, and then let her plead to a violation. And with no jail time, Evans was off, free to con another day.
And they go around the whole country and they change names, and they might have 50 different social security numbers and 50 different names, and they change hair colors. They go in an area, they hit it. When things get hot, they decide, you know something, I ticked off a client, it's time to leave.
Scandals involving psychics are not new. The most notorious involved Miss Cleo, a well-known phone psychic whose TV network was shut down by the FBI for fraud and deception in 2002.
Okay, I was wondering who the father of my baby was.
All right, let's take a look. The Miss Cleo DNA test. I'm solely searching for the father of your baby. Oh, it's the one that's very unpleasant, okay?
Okay.
And he's also the one that had another girlfriend while he was sleeping with you.
Yes, he did.
Yep, that's him. That's the daddy.
This is Linda Marks in 2002. I was investigating her in her home-based psychic shop in Delray Beach.
But you are a real psychic, right?
Yes, I am.
But Marks ended up in federal prison for stealing over $2 million from victims, including $300,000 from a now-deceased 87-year-old man. She told cancer victim Leroy Hoffert he had a curse on him that she could remove using special spells, but it would cost him money. She was released from prison in 2009, but has now turned up across the country in Mount Vernon, Washington. And for years, police here also told customers there was nothing they could do about Marks or her husband and partner Jimmy. Here he is in 2002, going ballistic when we shot video of his shop from the sidewalk.
You're the
Off my property, or I'll call the police department.
Call them. We're not on your property.
Okay, what do you?
Hey, buddy.
Now she's back, mugshot and all, accused of fleecing vulnerable victims, 11 of them. 6 are still alive, bilked, according to authorities, out of 180 grand. She denies all of it. Marks is 50, free on bond, wearing an electronic monitoring device here in Hamilton County, waiting to find out if a judge will say forget it because so many years have gone by.